A Passage to India, Chapter 16, Part 2. Loving them both, he expected them to love each other. They didn't want to. Fielding thought with hostility, I knew these women would make trouble. And Mrs. Moore thought, this man, having missed the train, tries to blame us. But her thoughts were feeble. Since her faintness in the cave, she was sunk in apathy and cynicism. The wonderful India of her opening weeks, with its cool nights and acceptable hints of infinity, had vanished. Fielding ran up to see one cave. He wasn't impressed. Then they got on the elephant, and the picnic began to unwind out of the corridor and escaped under the precipice toward the railway station, pursued by stabs of hot air. They came to the place where he had quitted the car. A disagreeable thought now struck him, and he said, Aziz, exactly where and how did you leave Miss Quested? Up there. He indicated the Kawa Dole cheerfully. But how? A gully, or rather a crease, showed among the rocks at this place. It was scurfy, with cactuses. I suppose the guide helped her. Oh, rather, most helpful. Is there a path off the top? Millions of paths, my dear fellow. Fielding could see nothing but the crease. Everywhere else, the glaring granite plunged into the earth. But you saw them get down safe? Yes, yes, she and Miss Derrick, and go off in the car. Then the guide came back to you? Exactly. Got a cigarette? I hope she wasn't ill, pursued the Englishman. The crease continued as a nullah across the plain, the water draining off this way toward the Ganges. She would have wanted me, if she was ill, to attend her. Yes, that sounds sense. I see you're worrying. Let's talk of other things, he said kindly. Miss Quested was always to do what she wished. It was our arrangement. I see you are worrying on my account, but really, I don't mind. I never notice trifles. I do worry on your account. I consider they have been impolite, said Fielding, lowering his voice. She had no right to dash away from your party, and Miss Derrick had no right to abet her. So touchy as a rule, Aziz was unassailable. The wings that uplifted him did not falter, because he was a Mogul emperor who had done his duty. Perched on his elephant, he watched the Malabar hills recede, and saw again, as provinces of his kingdom, the grim, untidy plain, the frantic and feeble movements of the buckets, the white shrines, the shallow graves, the suave sky, the snake that looked like a tree. He had given his guests as good a time as he could, and if they came late or left early, that was not his affair. Mrs. Moore slept, swaying against the rods of the howdah. Mohammed Latif embraced her with efficiency and respect, and by his own side sat Fielding, whom he began to think of as Cyril. Aziz, have you figured out what this picnic will cost you? Shh, my dear chap, don't mention that part. Hundreds and hundreds of rupees. The completed account will be too awful. My friend's servants have robbed me right and left. And as for an elephant, she apparently eats gold. I can trust you not to repeat this. And M.L., please employ initials, he listens, is far the worst of all. I told you he's no good. He's plenty of good for himself. His dishonesty will ruin me. Aziz, how monstrous. I am delighted with him, really. He has made my guests comfortable. Besides, it is my duty to employ him. He is my cousin. If money goes, money comes. If money stays, death comes. Did you ever hear that useful Urdu proverb? Probably not, for I have just invented it. My proverbs are, a penny saved is a penny earned. A stitch in time saves nine. Look before you leap, and the British Empire rests on them. You will never kick us out, you know, until you cease employing MLs and such. Oh, kick you out? Oh, why should I trouble over that dirty job? Leave it to the politicians. No, when I was a student, I got excited over your damned countrymen, certainly. But if they'll let me get on with my profession and not be too rude to me officially, I really don't ask for more." "But you do. You take them to a picnic." "This picnic is nothing to do with English or Indian. It is an expedition of friends." So the cavalcade ended, partly pleasant, partly not. The Brahmin cook was picked up, the train arrived, pushing its burning throat over the plain, and the 20th century took over from the 16th. Mrs. Moore entered her carriage, and the three men went to theirs, adjusted the shutters, turned on the electric fan, and tried to get some sleep. In the twilight, all resembled corpses, and the train itself seemed dead, though it moved. A coffin from the scientific North, which troubled the scenery 4 times a day. As it left the Marabars, their nasty little cosmos disappeared and gave place to the Marabars seen from a distance, finite and rather romantic. The train halted once under a pump to drench the stock of coal in its tender. Then it caught sight of the main line in the distance, took courage, and bumped forward, rounded the civil station, surmounted the level crossing. The roads were scorching now, and clanked to a standstill. Chandapur, Chandapur. The expedition was over. And as it ended, they sat up in the gloom and prepared to enter ordinary life. Suddenly, the long-drawn strangeness of the morning snapped. Mr. Hack, the inspector of police, flung open the door of their carriage and said in shrill tones, "Dr. Aziz, it is my highly painful duty to arrest you." "Hello, some mistake," said Fielding, at once taking charge of the situation. "Sir, they are my instructions. I know nothing." "On what charge do you arrest him?" "I am under instructions not to say." "Don't answer me like that. Produce your warrant." "Sir, excuse me. No warrant is required under these particular circumstances. Refer to Mr. McBride." "Very well, so we will. Come along, Aziz, old man. Nothing to fuss about. Some blunder." "Dr. Aziz, will you kindly come? A closed conveyance stands in readiness." The young man sobbed, his first sound, and tried to escape out of the opposite door onto the line. "That will compel me to use force," Mr. Hack wailed. "Oh, for God's sake," cried Fielding, his own nerves breaking under the contagion, and pulled him back before a scandal started, and shook him like a baby. A second later, and he would have been out, whistles blowing, a manhunt. "Dear fellow, we're coming to McBride together and inquire what's going wrong. He's a decent fellow. It's all unintentional. He'll apologize. Never, never act the criminal." "My children and my name," he gasped, his wings broken. "Nothing of the sort. Put your hat straight and take my arm. I'll see you through." "Ah, thank God, he comes," the inspector exclaimed. They emerged into the midday heat, arm in arm. The station was seething. Passengers and porters rushed out of every recess. Many government servants, more police. Ronnie escorted Mrs. Moore. Mohammed Latif began wailing. And before they could make their way through the chaos, Fielding was called off by the authoritative tones of Mr. Turton, and Aziz went on to prison alone. And we'll start on Chapter 17 in the next video. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. As Tigger says, ta-ta for now.